Welcome to the Roundtable session on the National Animal Identification System. My name is Dale Blassie. I'm a professor and extension beef specialist at Kansas State University, and today I'm honored to lead the panel with respect to this session on National Animal Identification. Our esteemed guests for this panel include Dr. Jack Whittier, professor and extension beef specialist at Colorado State University. Dr. Whittier has been extensively involved evaluating several different systems involved and proposed for use in the National Identification System. With us as well as Mr. Mark Harmon, the Customer Service Manager from the Joplin Regional Stockyards near Hannibal, Missouri. To my left, Mr. Stu Marsh, the President of the Division for Livestock for Farnham Companies. And to my further left, Mr. Mike John, the incoming NCBA president and also a cattle producer and manager for livestock marketing for MFA in Missouri. Gentlemen, there's been a lot of discussion about the National Animal Identification System for the last couple of years. A lot of issues have come out of that, but let's first view the importance for implementing a National Animal Identification System for the United States. Mike?
Well, there's several reasons, but the primary reason obviously is animal health. That's the reason that the USAIP process started 2 or 3 years ago, and that's what everybody's been working on. That's where NAIS came from, which is the final version of the National Animal Identification System, is a need for animal health disease surveillance to stop the spread of a foreign animal disease. And so primarily that's the direction NCBA's effort has taken to make sure that we have an infrastructure that does the tracking necessary to maintain the surveillance that we need to stop those diseases. So that's the primary reason.
When we look at the overall infrastructure of our beef industry, we look at the incredible movements of livestock throughout their lifestyle. Mark, how do you view that with the incoming cattle coming to your facility?
Well, you know, with the amount of cattle we handle on a weekly basis and through the year, if there was any outbreak that came through our location and got spread out, it would cripple the cattle industry. I mean, we'll go to 6 or 7 states out of every sale, and those come from 4 or 5 states inbound from producers. If there ever was an outbreak, I could see where it could absolutely cripple our industry.
Jack, from the West, what's the perspective of producers and the importance of gathering cattle on public lands and so forth, the incredible extensive issues that the folks in the western part of the U.S. have to deal with? If you can comment on the capture and collection of those animals as it fits into this overall health scheme.
Sure, good point. Each geographical area of the United States is different, and the West has some unique challenges because of vastness and extensive areas, public lands and so on, and then just a kind of a standard production system that cattle are not always accessible because they're on high mountain or inaccessible areas. But I think what I've seen, and I will get to this later, is a desire to make the system workable in every locale, every arrangement, and not be unreasonable about production systems. And so there are some unique things in the West, in the South, East, and wherever, but that has to be manageable in order for the producers to make use of it.
Stu, let's talk about the requirements for the cattle industry as opposed to poultry and swine. What are some of the unique differences that exist under the proposed NAIS schema?
Well, I think individual animal tracking is very important as opposed to group lot tracking. That's probably what jumps out individually, but also the size of the market and the infectious diseases that we're considering. So as Dr. Whittier mentioned, you know, the individual animal tracking is unique in every situation, and so it's very important for producers to know what their needs are and what some objectives might be to accomplishing an individual animal tracking goal. We find that in some of the projects that we've been involved in, that people have different expectations of these systems, so it's extremely important to identify what the expectations are of those producers and develop systems that capture that expectation without any unnecessary cost.
Let's talk quickly about the 48-hour goal that is in the proposed plan, if that's even realistic or not, but under the context of a 48-hour tracking, how we implement the brand that is so very important in the West